Welcome to the CrossFit Max podcast.
We often hear athletes dealing with low energy, low motivation, and brain fogginess. You hear coaches talk about hydration and instantly think about drinking more water. But the truth is that you might actually be drinking enough water but not getting enough electrolytes. At CrossFit Max, we strongly believe in taking Drink Element to help replenish the electrolytes you are losing not only during your training sessions, but throughout activity of your daily life. Drink Element not only tastes amazing, but it delivers a science-backed dosage of electrolytes without the sugar, junky fillers, or artificial coloring found in other sports drinks. My favorite right now is the Raspberry Salt. Simply mix a pack with a big bottle of water and watch your energy skyrocket, your performance increase, and your recovery sped up. Grab yours at the front desk for only $2.50 a pack and start taking control over your hydration. All right, enjoy the podcast. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're live. Hello, listeners.
Hi. Oh, we keep forgetting to introduce ourselves.
Tell them who you are.
I'm Susie.
And I am. Tell them.
Brandon. And this is the CrossFit Max podcast.
Let's go. The best moment of everyone's week is clicking play on this podcast.
You know what? I honestly feel like recording these podcasts is one of the best moments of my week.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
I enjoy it. We're doing a morning podcast. We're off our normal schedule, but I feel like at this point we don't actually have our normal schedule.
I was going to say, I feel like every episode we start by being like, this is off our normal schedule. So we actually don't have a normal schedule and we do what we want, okay? Because we're in charge. We're the bosses.
We the boss. Well, actually, you're my boss, but anyways.
You're my boss, so.
Let's dive into the banter topic. People don't want to hear about our schedules. They want to hear about the topic, the banter topic. We have now reached 11 months of being open in business. Wow, it's crazy. We're coming up on 1 year on August 19th. That'll be our 1 year mark.
That's cool.
What has been the most surprising part of this year or this 11 months now?
For me?
For you, yeah. One question for you.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe the listeners could also ask them this for the people who have been coming to our gym, or for the people who don't come to our gym. What has been the biggest surprise for you this last year?
Okay, but
in terms of fitness journey and
for me, surprise related to opening the business?
Yes.
My biggest surprise is probably just how close I feel in terms of relationship close with all of our members.
Oh.
I didn't know I had the capacity to be like this close with this many people.
You mean like relationship wise? You mean emotionally invested? What do you mean?
Emotionally invested, relationship wise. I do my best to get to know people. I feel like I do a decent job of it, and I feel like I genuinely have like 100 best friends.
Wow. That was
and
nice.
I wasn't expecting to get so warm and fuzzy to this many people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say my biggest surprise is how many people we've gotten.
Yes,
I mean,
correct.
that was really unexpected. I think that's been my biggest surprise. I didn't think we'd have this much of an impact on so many different people this early on in the game.
Yeah, if you look at our prediction charts that we made prior to opening the gym, we did not anticipate being at the number of members that we're at right now yet.
Which is great.
Which is fantastic.
Yep. We should actually...
And I think it means we're doing something right. So props to us.
We should pull up that chart and see...
Compare
where we are today versus where we
thought we would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're definitely like ahead of our predictions.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised about. But for me, honestly, the biggest surprise is just the close-knit feeling I feel with the people. And I can see that they're having that experience with each other too. And it was almost like an overlooked part of the business that I didn't think about.
Yep.
I was thinking more about people getting fitter and healthier and us making money and building a profitable business and stuff like that. Those were the things you think about before opening. And then my biggest surprise is actually the bond I feel with the members.
Mm-hmm. I think people hear community this, community that, and blah, blah, blah. I'm so sick and tired of hearing about community. But when you're in it, you realize what it is. You know, like it's
every gym says they have the best community.
Yeah, which they might. All CrossFit gyms, I think, might have the best.
They all probably feel that, but I think that we hear it so often that it loses its power. But like I feel like every gym says that. So it's kind of like every
Well, I think
person saying like I'm the best.
Yeah, well, I think every
Whatever.
CrossFit gym says that. I think that's like a CrossFit thing.
Right.
You don't hear, I don't think you hear like, I don't know, yoga studios saying our community is the best, or I don't know. Maybe you do.
Yeah, you do.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'm just not
You're just not in that world.
Yeah.
Spinning studios say they have the best communities and whatever. Every fitness business, they always, it's like a trigger word or what is that? What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Anyways, it's like
Maybe an overused word?
Yeah, it's just a word that people use all the time. And so maybe it begins to lose its value. And all I'm trying to say is that I therefore didn't realize how much I genuinely was going to have like my heart filled by every person that comes in.
Yeah, it's cool. Gym. I love our community.
Me too.
It's pretty great.
It's the best.
Yeah. So you're surprised about the emotional relationships you've created, or how many? And I'm surprised at like how many people we've been able to connect with, which is really cool.
Yeah, I just think I wasn't thinking about forming this many relationships with people. I was thinking more about changing their lives in terms of health, which I think we're already doing. But that part isn't shocking to me. I knew that was going to happen. I think you do a really great job of programming. I knew that people were going to...
don't butter me up at the beginning of this podcast.
No, but it's true. I knew that on the fitness side of things, people would get results following your program. Like I just knew that as a fact going in. So that's not a surprise to me. What's surprising is how I like want to hang out with these people 24/7. And I'm sad when they leave and I'm excited when they come in.
Yeah. I mean, we are literally like our dog, Max. That's why we called this gym CrossFit Max. Like,
did you just call me a golden retriever?
Yeah, we're like golden retrievers. You guys leave and have like separation anxiety for 23 hours
and
until you come back.
We see you from the window when you pull up in your car.
Yeah.
And it's like I get that tail wagging like sensation. Like, oh my God.
The metaphor is perfect for this.
They're here. Oh my God. I can't wait to see them. Hi.
Yeah, and Susie's wagging her tail and
facts.
Well, yeah. Anyways, so that's stick with us, surprise. Folks. We're almost at 1 year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We also, I guess we'll just fill them in. The signage, the CrossFit Max signage is closer in the works now more than ever. We don't have a specific date yet. We'll fill you guys in on the time.
I think it depends on how long it takes to get the permits and stuff.
Yeah, permit, contractor.
Boring, blah, 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 boring stuff.
Yeah. But really, that would be really cool after 1 year if we can get that stupid gymnast sign and people won't come into our facility like, oh, you guys don't have machines in here? Like,
someone the other day was like, I thought this was a dollar store. And I was like, bro, this has not been a dollar store for like 5 years.
5 years? It hasn't been a dollar store for like a decade.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
And then asks me tons of questions. And I'm like, I know you're looking for a dollar store. Like, stop wasting my time.
Yeah. Anyways,
side note.
Well, on the note of giving people good programming and giving people results here, you want to hold my hand while we do this?
I was just reaching for Brandon's hand and he just like gave me like a little tap. I just wanted him to hold my hand and look into my eyes. Love me.
This podcast, I don't even know what we've called it. You guys have seen the title while clicking on this.
We've come up with the title by the time we posted it.
But this topic stems from not just a couple conversations I've had this week with clients, but like an ongoing conversation I feel like I consistently have with clients throughout the 11 months that we've been opened.
It's a little bit of tough love.
It's almost like I just wanted to vent on this podcast. But I guess as, like you said before, like as owners, we're trying to spread the message of health and fitness and how it should be a priority for people.
Correct.
And we're trying to get our message out to, let's say, newer people so we can get new members into our gym. And from a business standpoint, like in order for us to survive the business, like we need to get new people in here. And we also want to be changing lives to more people as well. But what I've realized that I think I want to spend a little bit more of my time is helping...
time?
Just kidding. Is helping educate the clients we have and really trying to like hammer home some of the basic principles of living a healthy life. And what I mean by that is I've had multiple conversations over the last, I would say really a lot over the last 2 weeks with people asking questions on things that I've tried to cover for free on many different platforms that we offer. For example, we do these podcasts. This is a free content creator that we put out there for the public, but also for our members. Like, it's mainly for our members to help get our message across and help for them to truly understand what our message is. How can you guys live healthier lives and happier lives? And this is just one form of that, but we spend a decent amount of time doing these podcasts every single week, whether that's, setting the schedule and coming into the room and clicking the record button and taking 30 to 60 minutes to record. Susie spending the time to edit it, then the time to publish it, schedule it, create the title. We also do some like visual sound bites for our Instagram to give out little, marketing teasers for people to go and click on the podcast. So all this stuff is free and it takes a lot of our time. Other forms of content that we put out.
We love doing it.
Absolutely.
But it takes a lot of our time.
Yeah, it takes a lot of our time, but I freaking love doing this. I think we both really love doing this.
100%. I just wanted to make that clear. I didn't want it to sound like we do this and it takes our time. And it's not complainy.
No.
It's we love it.
No. And that's one form. We do a few other forms of communication towards our clients. We have a private Facebook group with just our members in it. And I would say once per week, maybe once every 2 weeks, I put like a full blog article in there that I take at least an hour, sometimes 2 hours writing things on certain topics like
health tips,
hydration tips, why it's important to consume protein at every single meal, how to build, or I put up an article the other week called how to sculpt your body for the summer. And we put a bunch of different things on that community group where we just post a bunch of things. And that, for me takes maybe an hour to 2 hours that I do once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. We also create social media posts. So specifically, like, we'll create reels, we'll create Instagram posts, we'll put it up on our page for the public to see, but also so our clients can see as well. Like, our clients are the ones that are following our Instagram. Any others that we do?
Sometimes we send newsletters.
Oh, yeah, true.
Email.
Newsletters. So email newsletters that we put out there. And so we put out all.
And we just talk about it at the gym.
We talk about it a lot at the gym,
in group classes,
privately with
one-on-one with people,
with clients, in group classes, and so we put a lot of like this free educational content out there. And again, this is not to complain and stuff, but over the last couple weeks, I've been surprised at some of the questions that I've received.
Questions we feel like have been answered numerous times on multiple platforms, and that we thought would be known facts by the people within our community already, people who have been participating in our community, things that we thought, I thought you shouldn't know the answer to that question based on the amount of information we've shared already on that specific topic. Yeah. For example, on nutrition, let's say. Yeah,
for example, for nutrition, people come in and will still ask, like, well, I'm gaining weight. Like, how do I lose weight? And it's like, well, we've discussed this on multiple podcasts before. I've written many blog articles in our community group. We've talked about this a lot in group classes as well. I've done multiple conversations one-on-one with people. That's just one subject. There'll be other subjects of people like, oh, well, what am I supposed to eat for breakfast, And then I'll tell them, like, well, we should make sure we prioritize protein.
Right.
Or I'll say, like, hey, like, let's try to consume protein-dense meal. Or, for example, a specific example this week, someone was like, well, how much protein should you be consuming? And I said, like, between 0.8 grams to 1 gram per pound of body weight. And someone was completely baffled by that number. And they're like, oh, my God, how can I eat that? Like, why would I even need to eat that much? So it made me kind of question our messaging.
Are we getting through to people?
Yeah, our messaging towards our clients.
I feel like that's one of the biggest struggles in this coaching industry is how can we successfully spread and share our message with our community and with new people or leads online or anything? How can we successfully spread and share our message in a way that will actually stick, or in a way that people are going to actually absorb or receive that information? I think that's that's the big question, right? Like, how do we do that? So I think something that we kind of had our eyes open to this past week or so is not that like, oh, people aren't reading our stuff, like they suck.
Yeah.
It's more like, how as a coach can we successfully spread this message and actually get through to people? What do we need to do to get there? And what do people need from us in order to absorb and actually apply that information? So clearly being told one time on one Facebook post is not going to be successful, right? Like it's kind of like that marketing. I know this isn't for a marketing thing, but it's like we talked about when we were opening the gym. There's like we didn't study marketing, but there's like this rule that people need about 7 touch points before they actually purchase from you.
Yeah.
So they need to hear about your brand.
Or tell them the numbers. What is it? 7, 11, 4?
Yeah, I'm not sure. 7
touch points.
No,
7 hours.
7 hours of your content or 7 hours of your information, 11 touch points in 4 different places.
Yeah.
Before they'll actually like commit to purchasing from you or something.
Yeah. Did we may have mixed up those numbers and those.
I think that was right. I think that was right.
11, 4. That's the rule. But yeah, so.
And I think that applies to also teaching. When we teach information online, I think you could say people need 7 hours of teaching or learning from 11 different occasions.
Yeah.
And from 4 different
platforms.
So maybe one time in person, one time on a Facebook post, one time on Instagram, and one time on the podcast or something like that. Like they really need to have it come at them from all angles before it actually sticks. And so anyways, it's just been very interesting, I think, as coaches to realize that people within our community who have been here for months still don't know that they should be eating protein for breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah, they're eating bread and
it's like literally like our favorite thing to talk about is like eat protein.
Yeah. Oh, for breakfast I'm eating toast and a banana.
And it's
why?
Oh my God, their poor ears, Brandon. They're gonna have this in their headphones, and they literally just like spilled their coffee.
But yeah, anyways, it's like so frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you eat that for breakfast, and you're wondering why your energy levels in the afternoon suck. Come on.
Brandon is getting heated.
I get fired up for this stuff.
But it is very true. Like, it's extremely frustrating to feel like we have all of these amazing tools to help people and we're sharing them all the time. And we feel like maybe it's not getting through to people.
I had a good conversation with one of the groups the other week. It was like a noon class and there was 4 people in it. And we were just getting on the topic of nutrition. In the middle of the class, we were doing like bench press, so there was some resting time in between.
Right.
And I had this full-on conversation with them, and I said, guys, how many of you guys read the blog post that I put up last week? And one person did. And I knew that one person did because that woman likes every single post that I put in there, and I know that she's reading it. And I don't put these blog posts in our community group to, let's say, get likes. Like, that's not why I'm putting there. I'm putting it there as like free educational content for our clients to like maximize their results. A
bonus ad on what they're already getting from the group classes.
I really love doing it. It also helps me like get my brain working again, and like certain things I'll just do like quick research just to get my brain refreshed. And it's a fun thing to do, and I want to offer this to our clients. I want to offer them free stuff.
100%.
And there's a lot of information on the internet, like so much information. Should you go keto? Should you cut out all carbohydrates? Should you do intermittent fasting? Should you cut out breakfast and not eat in the morning? Like, there's so much stuff out there. One of my, not jobs, but one of the things I like to do is just help cut out all the noise out there and just try to help people focus on like the principles.
Filter the BS.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yes and no. Like, I'm not the person that's going to be telling you, hey, you shouldn't go keto. You want to go keto, you can go keto, but here are some of the things that I believe, like in basic principles. If you go on to keto diet and you cut out all carbohydrates and you feel fantastic, props to you. If you've never done keto and you're like, I'm going to go on this hard diet where I'm going to cut out all carbohydrates and I'm going to start going into keto, like I'm going to go into ketosis, and I think there's a better way that you should do it. And I love carbs. Our bodies love carbs. Our carbs are our main source of energy. So I wouldn't recommend that to the person who's just starting out into, like, let's say this diet world. But hey, if someone has had success on it and they've been doing it for many,
are
many
we to
months,
judge?
I'm not going to judge you for that.
Right.
But what I want to do is I want to cut out all that fluff out there on the internet and just like help people with basic principles, whether you're doing a keto diet, whether you are a vegetarian or a vegan, whether you're doing intermittent fasting. There are certain principles that apply to all of these like quote unquote diets, like making sure you prioritize protein. Doesn't matter what diet you're following, you need to prioritize
Eat your damn protein,
if
people.
if you follow a keto diet, you need to eat protein. If you do intermittent fasting, you need to make sure you're eating protein. If you are a vegan, really important, you need to make sure you are eating protein. Basic principles. Other things like, weight loss. Doesn't matter what diet you're on. If you're over consuming too many calories, you're going to put on weight. If you want to lose weight, you need to consume less calories than what you're burning in a day. It doesn't matter what diet you're following.
Right.
So there are simple principles that all of these diets follow. And I think there are certain ways that we can optimize the way we eat, the way we move, and just help educate people along the way. So when I had this conversation with this group class. I kind of got carried away with that little vent there. Yeah. When I had this conversation,
I wasn't going to stop you. You were on a roll, baby.
When I had this conversation with the group class, I asked them, I said, hey guys, like how many of you guys read the blog article that I put in the community? And there was only 1 out of the 4 people. And they're all asking me, they spent the last 15 minutes asking me questions that I spent 2 hours writing a full free article. And I'm not talking about like a several page article. We're talking about like 4 paragraphs, maybe like maximum 2 minutes to read. Maximum 2-minute read. And yes, that's 2 minutes to read, but that took me like over an hour to write because I wanted to make sure I was giving the perfect ideas that people should be following. I want to make sure like the stuff that I'm giving them is going to be easy to comprehend,
right,
and easily digestible. See what I did there? Digestible. But yeah, so it was interesting that 3 out of the 4 of them didn't read it, but they were like asking me questions and they were baffled by some of the answers that I gave them. So yeah, so it was cool. It was kind of funny because one of them who didn't read it, later in the day, I got like 29 Facebook notifications, and she went into the community, the private Facebook group that we have, and liked every single post that I've put up for the last, 6 months.
She got a whole lot of knowledge in one sitting, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I hope she wasn't just liking it just to like it. I hope she was actually trying to read it and understand it. But it's interesting because I've just was thinking, I had a really good conversation with another client on Monday morning after the 6 a.m. class, and we spoke for like an hour, and she's super awesome, and she was asking like, what can I do for you for helping me for this hour? Like, and I was like, she asked like, what can I gift? Do you like anything? Can I gift you something? And I honestly told her like, no, like I just, the thing that I want you to do right now, and the thing that makes me the most angry, is when I spend this time with someone for free and they don't apply anything that I've just taught you.
Right.
So she took a photo of the board, and I said, hey, like we did like a full whiteboard breakdown of what she's been eating and how we could fix that and stuff. And I said, hey, just the thing that you could gift me or do for me is apply some of the actions that we just spoke about and how you can change that. And I think what now I'm trying to think about is how can we get messages across to our members, because we don't want to just reach new people all the time. What we want is the, let's say 100 clients that we have in our gym
to be optimizing their health
to the full potential.
Right.
So that's something that I've been thinking a lot about over the last 4 or 5 days, and how from a business standpoint and from a coaching standpoint, I can communicate this message appropriately to our members.
I think something that we can do to help get people a little bit more invested and conscious of all of the work we're putting into sharing information like this is talking about, hey, like go read the thing. Mm-hmm. Because some people are maybe less active on socials, or they don't think that that's the place to get knowledge from us. Yeah. So I think being more consciously talking about like, hey guys, I got tons of people asking me about weight loss, but I posted a really informative post in our Facebook group, like go check it out. I think that alone could make a significant difference. I think some people just see the notification and then maybe don't read it right away, and then
forget about it.
It's gone from their brain. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking that might help is like we take months, we take blocks of time, let's say 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever that is, and we just hammer home one subject.
Yes.
Like every single week, we're just going to hammer home this subject for
everyone's going to
6 weeks.
By the end of the 6 weeks, they're all going to be like, okay, we're supposed to eat protein for breakfast.
Yeah.
And when they're eye rolling when we tell them, that's when we know we're done with that point.
Exactly. Yeah. And then what we got to do is we got to figure out like what platforms are we going to do. And we're just going to push all that out, like
right.
we're going to put we're going to put Instagram reels up for it. We're going to put blog articles on it for our community group.
Idea.
We're going to talk about it in the group class. We're going to talk about it on our podcast topics. We're just going to push it. We're going to put our threads. So now we're on Threads, which is the new.
I love Threads, by the way. Side note, get on Threads. If you're not on Threads, get on Threads. Threads. For those of you guys who don't know what that is, Threads is the Meta, so like the Facebook, Instagram version of Twitter.
Yeah. So there's a big social media war going on that we don't even know about, but we love it.
Yes, there is. I heard Elon Musk wants to pull Threads off.
Oh, interesting. Well, I mean, which is really cool. I don't know if you knew this, but there is actually some interest in Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg to do an MMA UFC fight.
What?
Crazy. That would be so cool. And
Facebook takes on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be probably the biggest fight ever.
Oh my God. Okay.
Can you imagine how many people would buy that pay-per-view just to watch those two fight?
Mark Zuckerberg is going to get his ass handed to him.
No, I don't know if you followed, but he's like
is
deep into he's like deep into the jiu-jitsu world. Elon Musk is.
No way.
They both do, but Elon Musk is apparently, I think he's like 40 pounds heavier than Mark Zuckerberg. But Mark Zuckerberg is like shredded, and he's been doing jiu-jitsu competitions, and this is kind of where the hype has generated from. He posted like multiple like competitions that he's performed at. Anyways, we're getting off topic here, but he's performed.
This is extremely off topic, but what an interesting tangent. Anyways, check out Threads. Threads is awesome.
Yeah. So anyways, he's done some competition. Elon Musk has called him out on Twitter, and then Mark was like, yeah, let's set it up. And they're actually in the works, but yeah, stay tuned for that.
Okay, stay tuned for that. We'll do a commentary on the podcast just for funsies.
But yeah, so again, going back to it, for the listeners right now, for the people who listen to the podcast and you're in this right now, I have one message for you guys. We
eat protein.
I'm
just kidding. I'm sorry.
All of your answers, if you listen and you pay attention, will be mostly answered by us for free. If you pay attention to the community group where we put in free stuff, if you listen in the group classes when we have little nuggets of information that we throw at you, if you listen to the podcast and actually apply what we're talking about in the podcast, we don't always go about healthy stuff like we talk. This podcast was literally all about making sure you listen and stuff. But
I don't want this podcast to come off whiny though. I think it's more of a little bit of a venting in terms of just, but out of frustration of wanting to help people, not out of people aren't listening. It's more like, okay, wait. So what I'm noticing is people are not grasping the information that we're putting out. How can we successfully send our message? Yeah, that's what we're doing. And it's a strategy.
And what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to just follow along. Try to listen and try to pay attention to the
consciously follow. Yeah.
And try to and just follow what we say.
And do not be shy to ask us questions. We're not going to be like, go read the Facebook. Like we're not going to yell at you. We're happy to help. We love when people ask us questions. What we find frustrating is when people ask us the same question over and over. Yeah. We give them the same response. They make no change. And then they're like, I'm not losing weight, for example. And you're like, well, we've talked about this numerous times. I've given you tons of strategies. Like, which of the strategies have you applied? Oh, actually, I decided to not apply anything you told me and remove all carbs from my diet. Yeah. And then they're like, but I'm not losing weight. And we're like, well, I don't know what to tell you now.
Yeah.
It's more that gets frustrating.
Yes.
But if you have genuine questions, and even if it's something we've maybe written a podcast, recorded a podcast on, or written about or something, we're still more than happy to answer questions.
Absolutely.
We just love when people are engaged in the process, and they're not just asking questions to ask questions, but they're not willing to apply the learning.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
that's maybe
Yes.
where it comes up. I just don't want this podcast episode to air and people to be like, they're very whiny.
Nah.
We're not whiny, okay?
We just, honestly, it just comes from a place
passionate.
that we just want you guys to get the best results.
100%.
And by results, I don't mean like, hey, we want these people to be shredded. It's like, we just,
Unless they want that.
yeah, we just want people to feel good in their skin, whatever that is. That might be weight loss. That might not be weight loss. That might be muscle gain. We want
Right.
people to be moving pain-free in full ranges of motion. We want people to be performing at their best so they feel good when they get in here. They're hitting their
Absolutely.
workouts and they're like, yes, I just lifted that weight and I feel freaking good about that. Yes, I just smashed that Metcon. I felt my cardio was through the roof. I kept my breathing under control. My muscles didn't get too fatigued. Like, I just felt like on top of the world. My recovery, I came back. I was able to come back the next day after because my recovery was on point.
Yeah.
Like, we want all these things for you guys, and we're trying to deliver maybe too many different messages, but we're trying to deliver these tips and tricks for you guys to be able to get all of those results.
Yeah, I think we need to simplify our message and maybe, like you said, do it in blocks.
Yeah. Maybe that'll be the
not
strategy.
information overload people.
Yeah.
But also, I think just keep doing what we're doing, right? Because we've only been open less than a year. There's only so many hours of information we've had a chance to share.
Yep.
And if that marketing rule of whatever's has anything to say, we still have many hours to go before people are going to grasp everything that we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a constant learning,
Even like
work in progress.
Yeah,
Learn in
even-
progress.
even the other day, like last week, I put up a quick little, blog thing about like creatine. Mm-hmm. And I even linked a podcast that I listened to that was short form. It was like a 20 max. I think it was like 20 to 30 minute podcast from the Look Good Move Well podcast that I really love from Marcus Philly. Broke down like what creatine does for your body and how people should take it. Also breaks down all the myths about it. And I even put in there, guys, this was a really good podcast, blah, 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 blah. Super informative. I think every single person almost in the world should be taking creatine. And I think every single person in our gym should be taking creatine. And I posted that last week, less than a week ago, I think. And someone sent me a video that they wanted me to watch on this woman who does like 100 days of creatine. And they were asking like, what are my thoughts on this? I'm like, well, my thoughts are going to be the exact same of what I posted last week. So go check that out. But yeah, so there's like little things like that. We're trying to provide you guys with all the tools for you guys to maximize your results in the gym, but also just maximize your health and the way you feel.
Yes.
Speaking about maximizing, client of the week.
Client of the week. Pew, 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 pew.
Who has been definitely maximizing her gym time. She has been extremely consistent, extremely frequent on her sessions.
She's absolutely destroying her fitness gains. Like,
Yeah.
she is killing it. Very impressive.
Yeah, but not only that, she's also had a big mental shift. She's coming in, she's being nicer to herself. She's not being so hard on herself anymore.
Absolutely.
She's coming in with a more positive mindset. She's coming in with a smile on her face every single session. And that person is Katie.
Yay, Katie.
She
Woo-hoo.
is a fellow Scots.
You're not
Which
Scottish. We talked about literally a few episodes ago about how Canadian you are, Brandon. You can't say she's a fellow Scot.
Yeah. Anyway, she's
Scottish for real.
She is Scottish, yeah. Yeah. She even has the accent and everything.
She's so cute, first
Yeah.
of all. Just besides everything else that we've just said, she's just cute.
Why do we have so many like short, cute-
wonderful, adorable women? Because I don't know. But if you want to find all the cutest women in all of the West Island, come to CrossFit Minds. They're here.
Anyways, Katie's been crushing it. Thank you, Katie, for being such an awesome member. We've noticed a massive shift in your energy when you've been coming into the gym.
She definitely makes the class fun. When I see that I'm coaching and Katie's in the class, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I love having her in the class. I love working out with her. Last week we had so much fun working out together. She got her kipping pull-ups back, which was a massive win.
Yeah.
I know that it has been like a few years since she's been able to do them. And so that was just, we both had a little happy dance.
Her smile was
she was
very
grinning
fun.
ear to ear. So that was really, really cool.
Her cheer also was cool.
Yeah, I cheered when she did it. I just
so
let
happy.
out a big roar, and then I was like, "Whoops!" Get so excited for everybody. Even myself, I've been coaching her. She's been coming to work out on Sundays, and we've been working on dumbbell snatches in the last couple of Sunday workouts. And a few weeks ago, she kind of had a certain dumbbell weight, and we were working on transitioning from hand to hand, and it went super well. And at the end of the workout, she was kind of like, "Oh, it actually went really well. I kind of regret not taking a heavier dumbbell." And then the following week, without being prompted or anything, I just noticed that she had gone up in her dumbbell weight and totally killing it. So it's been really fun to watch. I love when people kind of push themselves without even being encouraged by the coach. They kind of decide for themselves, you know what, I'm ready to level up my weight. And I did not go unnoticed with me, Katie.
Oh yeah. Katie's someone who's really hard on herself.
Yes.
Like she'll put herself down. And a lot of the time or the last, I guess, several months now, I've been like, Katie, like, don't be so hard on yourself, you know? Like, give yourself
I yelled
some
at her
love.
the other day because she kept saying sorry to me when I was
Stop saying
coaching, and I
sorry.
was like, stop saying sorry. Don't be sorry.
Yeah.
She's just a little sweetie.
So all of her, so besides like her fitness gains going up, like her mentally, she's coming in with a more positive attitude towards herself, not towards others. She's always so friendly with other people.
Yes.
But towards herself, she's more loving towards herself.
Harsh
and more
critic
positive
to herself, I think. Yeah. And she's been absolutely crushing it.
Yeah.
And
she's leaving us for 2 weeks now.
I know,
3
I
weeks.
miss her already.
She just did her 9 a.m. class, and now she's going to be here this weekend, right? I'm not
right, but when this podcast airs, I miss her already because she will have been gone.
How long is she going? 2, 3 weeks? 3 weeks.
Oh my, 3 whole weeks.
Oh no, this is sad. Okay, we can't end the podcast on a sad note.
And her 2 kids both have been coming to CrossFit Max.
Yeah, so Jack has been doing the group classes. He's 13, and Tom is 10 or 11. I think he's 11 now. Yeah.
11.
So Tom is 11. He's been doing our young teens class. They're great. They're so fun.
They're super awesome.
Tom is going to be...
Both their kids are very plugged in, focused. You can tell she's done a great job of raising some nice young boys.
So Tom is going... You could tell this kid is going to love weightlifting. Every time we do any sort of weightlifting, he loves it. And Jack is more of the...
Cardio beast.
The cardio beast, yeah.
I think they both play soccer. Yeah. Well, I know Jack plays soccer because his soccer team was doing... And through the fall and the winter, their whole soccer team would come and do CrossFit classes as a team here. So that was super cool. I'm excited to start that back up in the fall with them.
Yep. Yeah. So thank you, Katie, for being such an amazing member. We're happy that you're at CrossFit Max.
Such a shining light in our community. We're so lucky to have you.
Continue to love yourself. Continue to talk positively about yourself.
And keep crushing it, girl.
Yep. All right. Let's end it there.
All right, so just a quick recap. We love you guys, and we want to share all of the information with you, and we're here for you.
Sorry for getting heated.
And we are passionate about wanting to help people. So please approach us with your questions. Yeah. If you have topics for suggestion, we love that.
I do love your questions, by the way.
Yeah, so don't listen to this and be like, oh, now I'm scared to ask questions. It's quite the opposite. You asking questions informs us on where we need to go with our content and how we can help people more. So that's super awesome.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
All right, we love you.
Okay,
bye.